everybody. Pastor Randy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Hope you've had a great week so far. We finished up kindness yesterday, and next on the list is goodness. Now one might think, well, aren't those two kind of the same? No. And I'll tell you why as we go through this next lesson. We're just going to do a little intro today. You know, we've looked at, as we've been studying, picking the vine, whatever you want to call this, looking at the fruit of the Spirit. We've been talking about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. But what we find as we enter into goodness, as those other prior things that we've been looking at, what we find is the common theme, the commonality, if you will, what it comes down to. What is it based on? And it's the heart and core of my ministry, the heart and core of everything that I teach. It is about a proper relationship with God. Because without that, friends, none of these are fulfilled. None of these ever reach their highest capacity. But with Him, all things are possible. With Him, we can achieve the highest of highs. And we need to understand that. You know, again, every effort that we make on our own in this world, if it's just that, if I'm doing it just by myself, it automatically starts out in a deficit because I'm only able to do what I can do. I'm only human. I'm only one person. You know, if I go to the gym, which I try to go every day, I can't go in there and lift up everything in there. You know, I am limited. I don't know everything. People come and ask questions. Sometimes I have the answer. Sometimes I have to go look for the answer. Sometimes I have to call someone else. We don't. But this is where we understand going back to in the beginning. God says, I don't want you to be alone. I want to be with you. I want to help you through this. I want to teach you the right things. So what we understand is as we begin to have this relationship with the Lord, as we begin to allow the indwelling of the Spirit of God, we can experience not just love, but we can experience real love. We can experience joy, not just joy, but true joy. Not just peace, but everlasting peace. Not just have patience, but have extended patience. And not just be kind, but have kindness from the heart. All of this is possible as we allow the power of God, the Spirit of God, to move in our lives and produce this fruit, if you will, this evidence, this something that can be seen. When we begin to grasp the reality of this and the walking relationship that it should be, it goes down to what Paul talks about in 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. Very familiar text, but I want us to think about these words as we now begin to look at the concept of goodness. What does it mean? Paul says, therefore, meaning this is the result of, this is the reaction, this is where things are going. So as a result, this is why I need to tell you this. Therefore, if. Another key word, we oftentimes precede a lot of actions with the word if. If this happens, then I'll do this, and on so and on. So, well, here, therefore, if. Meaning if you have if you have determined, if you have made the decision, if you have accepted the invitation of Christ, if you have surrendered your life to Him, if you have done that, it says, if you are in Christ, if you be in Christ, you are a new creation. Old things have passed away. Typically, when we use the phrase passed away, especially in our Western culture here, it means something has died. Someone has died. And again, that's not being cold or heartless in any means, but we typically answer this. Is so-and-so still, no, they passed away. Paul is saying here, when we've given our lives to Christ, when we've come to know Him, we become brand new, and the old is gone. He says, and behold, all things become new. He's not referring to here simply being made over, refreshed, get a new coat of paint. But rather what he's speaking of is being brand new from the inside out. We can cosmetically change all of this. We can add on a little weight. We can take off a little weight. We can fix our hair different, or we can shave, or we can, all makeup, all these different things. But what he's talking about here is your heart, which goes back to the production of this fruit of the Spirit. He's saying from the inside out, a changed heart, a changed mind, a changed outlook. That's attitude. In other words, you become new. This is what a true experience with God is all about. Being made new, not staying the same. Jesus said, I come to give you life and it more abundantly. That's not just live longer, more miserable. That's not what he's talking about at all. He's talking about, I want you to be able to share me. And so when we think about being able to experience love, real love, true joy, extended, patience, everlasting peace, all these different things, this is not merely an imitation. Meaning that, I should act more like Jesus, or I should try to do better. No. Because that is a self-effort. Meaning that I'm going to run out of steam on that. I can only go so far. Again, that's not making excuses. That's being human. That's why we have to partner with, that's why we have to combine ourselves with the power of God, allowing that indwelling Spirit of God. This is where the life of the believer, the one who has been made new, this is where change has to be evident. So we see then the proclamation of, I believe in God, or I go to church, whatever. That's a mere statement if that life is not reflective of that. And again, that's not being critical or cruel. Or they have to go hand in hand. If Paul says, if you have come to know Christ, you have become a new creation. That means I've allowed an effectual change in me. I'm not the same. And that is an ever-growing change. That is that tree, that vine, that branch that has been planted, and it doesn't remain a sapling or a seedling. It continues to grow. It continues to get stronger. It continues to produce. It continues to be something that is evident, that is real, and that it's got something going on. Goodness is one of those qualities that can be seen. We oftentimes hear the phrase, well, that's a good person, that's a good guy, that's a good gal. What does that mean? Is that solely based on a visible action? They helped this person across the street, or they it's visible. It's clear as to whether it exists or not, because it's consistent. It doesn't mean that we again reduce our humanity, or we stop operating as normal people. No. But when we surrender our hearts to God, when we become into that relationship, and we allow these things to continue to grow and move in our life, then we see, as we have seen already in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, as these become more evident, so does the next part, which is goodness. What does it mean? What does it look like? How do we recognize goodness? I think there's 3 specific areas that I want to tackle as we begin this lesson, Lord willing, tomorrow in the first one. And we will look at a good disposition. Big word. What does it mean? Come back and spend a little time with me tomorrow, and we'll talk about goodness. What does it look like? I'll see you then. God bless you, friends.